Coming up this week on Geek Gamer Weekly, we talk about the importance of network neutrality, how it affects you as a viewer of this show and a user of the internet. We also bring back our picks of the week. We also talk about what we're playing. All that and much more. Geek Gamer Weekly is next. Geek Gamer Weekly is brought to you by our very own Roku app for Geek Gamer TV. You can go back and watch the back catalog of Geek Gamer Weekly, Minecraft Me, our specials from PAX Prime, E3, and soon-to-be CES 2014. To grab that app today, go to ggtv.me/Roku. This is Geek Gamer Weekly, episode 257, recorded on Mother's Day, Sunday, May 11th, 2014. Network Neutrality. Hey everybody, welcome again to another edition of Geek Gamer Weekly. This is the Uber podcast for geeks and gamers. Happy Mother's Day to all you moms out there watching this show, because really, why wouldn't you be? It's so good. We have so many great Mother's Day stories for you.
Totally relevant for mothers.
Totally relevant for mothers. Welcome to the show. Episode number 257 of an ongoing, continuing saga. My name is Chase Nunes, and joining me this week is my good group of friends. Starting off here in the studio, you know him, you love him. Here he is, folks, Mr. John Kessler. Hey, John, how are you?
Just ducky.
John,
Yes.
it looks like you got a haircut.
I did.
Yeah.
This one right here.
Yeah.
There.
You
I
shouldn't
had
have
to look
cut
at
it
the
because
camera.
it's too much glare. That's the problem.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, you should let those bangs grow out, John.
I try, but they keep getting in my eyes. I just said,
Yeah,
cut them
yeah.
back.
But you're looking good. You're looking good. And also joining us this week, just this week, because he won't be here next week. Sad
Yep.
panda. But he's got a good excuse. He'll probably tell us during the course of the show why he won't be here.
Yep.
Mhm.
Mr. Joseph Falby. Hey, Joe, how are you?
Good.
Good. Yep. like it's been said before. And the hidden component of our show is the chat room. They are here as well. So, hey, chat room. There's Steve McMinecraft counting us down. John's waving. Gradrock made it just in time. And there's a handful of others watching on Twitch and other outlets. So, hi, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Why isn't the chat room
Yeah,
in the
why?
quad shot?
Yeah, why don't you
Why
put
don't you
it?
put it over there?
It would be way too small. The font would
So?
be way small.
So it would make people
There.
feel like they were still
Yeah.
there.
But then no one would be able to read it.
That's not really the point.
I just found a nice picture from Battlefield. That's all.
Was that you crashing a chopper?
No, I don't
Oh.
fly choppers very well.
Yeah, because he crashed.
As you
That's
can tell,
tense.
that's an actual that if you could tell down there, that's that's a chopper that's actually flying. See, my
yeah.
chopper would be on the ground.
All
Or,
choppers. Yeah. All the choppers you fly, or all the choppers you pilot fly until
Yeah.
they crash into something. Yeah.
right? Yeah, but
He's,
no.
look at how far he has to go before he's going to crash into something. That's
Pretty close to the ground.
Yeah.
well,
And yeah.
So what we're gonna do, starting, this is a new thing that we're gonna start. Hopefully, this catches on. It gives us one of those things to clue you in on what's going on in our world. What are we playing? The segment where you find out what games we've been playing. And I'm going to start with the birthday boy, John Kessler.
I thought you.
John turns 77?
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of brutal.
Is that-
I mean,
Brutal.
wait, is
Well,
that-
that's it. I'm
is-
out of here.
Is that way off? Am I way off?
It's quite
How far off?
a few.
So
I'm
higher?
going to say this
Yeah.
is the
Higher?
30th anniversary. I'm going to say this is around the 30th anniversary of his 18th birthday. How's that?
Ooh. So he's saying you are 48,
No.
45.
Used to be. No,
Ah.
actually,
I'm just saying.
no,
I'm just
actually,
saying
technically, I still am.
mid-40s. All I mean is mid-40s. That's
Yeah.
what I meant.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
around.
Yeah,
the
you're-
30s.
It's
So
45 and
mid-40s, right?
holding.
You're a seasoned.
45 and holding. Got it.
You are a seasoned, grizzled veteran.
Yeah, 45 and
Veteran
holding.
of the gaming world. So, what have you been playing, John, in the past week?
Last game I played was Minecraft.
Minecraft. I never heard of that.
What server was
what,
that?
What kind of game is Minecraft? What do you do?
What do I do?
Yeah, what do you do?
I Splunk. I go spelunking in the caves.
What? You Splunk?
Yeah.
Okay. But you were building on the new server, on the new Minecraft Me server.
on the
A
new
great
Minecraft
server.
Me
You can
map,
check it out
yeah.
at minecraftme.com for more information. But you do you build so you have are you relatively close to the spawn area, or did
No.
you go out far?
I went out.
So hey, we
Yes.
you're an independent party.
Mhm.
Got a question for you.
Mhm.
So recently on our server,
Yeah.
when we launched the new map, when you die, you keep all your inventory. I don't know if have you died yet on the
And
on the,
XP.
and XP. Have you died yet on the new server?
No.
So you haven't noticed it probably. But so we've enabled those two things. You keep your XP, you keep your inventory if you die
Mhm.
in that world. Now before if you died, you
Yeah.
would lose your items.
Correct.
So where do you stand on it? What do you how do you feel about servers? Well, maybe our server. If you die, you don't lose your items. How do you feel about that? Some people say, "Wait, I feel like Top Gear all of a sudden." I've been watching.
Some people say.
Some people say that he likes to eat cantaloupe.
Well, let's just wait. John was
And-
going to say something.
I
Let's
know.
just see what John says about that.
Yes, go ahead, John. What do you think? And be honest.
It takes some of the fear out of it then. Or I mean, it's just like people can be a bit more nonchalant about, oh, gee, I just fell off this edge and fell into a bunch of lava,
Hey, what are you talking about?
or rush, or not as creative, or just Russian like the Enderman or something.
Right.
It was nice. It was interesting, for the first day or two, but I mean, it does take some of the fear factor out of it.
Okay.
So you're against it or for it?
Against it, I guess.
Okay.
All right. We have a great discussion happening on our forums about this right now.
Mhm.
Some really good conversation, some good thoughts that people are actually putting their thoughts into and not blasting each other, which I'm very happy to see from a mature community.
Yeah.
Some communities would just start railing away on each other.
It would just devolve into your mom doesn't like it that way.
Well, you suck.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Well, don't
right.
die.
Yeah, don't die.
Don't fall in the lava.
So
Right.
yeah, no, I gave my opinion on
Yeah.
Minecraft. I'm in that same camp where but then again, Joe had valid reasons of implementing it. So we're still digesting the
Yeah.
comments, and we want to hear from you guys if you're a participant on our server.
Yeah, well, I mean, because I did my little 4 square of water with my home one set into my water in case I landed in the lava by accident, and now it's
Oh,
just
yeah?
like, well, I guess that's kind of a pointless thing now. But
Yeah, but remember, see here. All right, so let me counteract your argument for a brief moment.
mhm,
If you were dying,
mhm.
You even showed us you did this on a show. Do you
Uh-huh.
remember? What happened if you did /home?
If you do well,
Like when you did /home, what happened?
it'll come up with a list of homes.
Or /home1 or whatever.
Correct.
What happened
If you do /home /1
for you? What
For
happened?
me.
Yeah.
I come up in a puddle in my little thing of water
Uh-huh.
in case I'm on fire.
Uh-huh.
Now, see, that's okay, but
there's okay, all right, yeah, you
But-
see where I'm going, okay.
but that only works for lava. And if I type it fast enough, if I'm slacking and I screw up bad enough, well, then I die.
right, but
Well, but John, truth be told, we know you just have a hotkey for that.
No,
Yeah.
no.
You just have a
Hotkey?
macro
G1,
programmed in. and
G1,
you just hit a
bam,
key and-
G1.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to say I do have to give props because DX9 in the IRC there said that was something he showed me after I died like 2 or 3
all right,
times.
so now that you know that, John,
Yes.
I'm not Chris Fisher. Now that you know that, wrong button. Now that you know that,
What?
do you still support the whole Survivor thing? Do you still support that?
Yes, because
So based on your, I'm playing devil's advocate here.
I know.
Based on your argument, we should take away slash back or home slash home.
Yeah. But
So slash home is a hard one because there's no easy way to transit long distances in Minecraft.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
and
that's sort of a hard one.
Yeah.
And it only works for lava. I mean, if I'm getting just like any home,
if you're about if
you're about to die, if you're about to die from something else, as long as it's not hunger, which you can't die of hunger.
Yeah.
But as long as you're about to die, you're being inundated by zombies or skeletons or whatever.
Yeah.
You can always do slash home and then a number or whatever you named one of your homes to go back, and it doesn't matter whether you're in lava or not.
I did
get you
notice
out of the dangerous situation.
I did notice the creepers aren't doing any damage. I haven't seen creepers do any damage anywhere other than they take a little bit of health off a player, but I haven't seen them do any world damage.
So
yeah, they don't do world damage anymore.
So to be clear,
Mm-hmm.
you support a more survival-like experience where you have a little bit of fear in the game,
mm-hmm.
and you have the potential of losing your items.
Mm-hmm.
But he still wants slash home.
But he still wants
slash home. Yeah.
Fair enough. So,
Yeah.
but basically, you're in a nutshell, you want it. You like it the way it was before.
Sure.
Okay. I just wanted to put a cap on that somehow. Okay. So you've been playing Minecraft for the
super committal.
Oh, sounds like a politician. So Joe, what have you been playing over the past week? Obviously, since last week, you got back into Star Wars: The Old Republic, right? You've been doing a little bit of that.
Well, got back into. I never really
got out of it.
Really played it before last
Oh,
week. So
fair enough.
yeah. So it's a game that's been around for a little while, but Cameron Mann and his girlfriend are both into it and managed to talk me into giving it a try. It is a free to play game, and these are just some cutscenes from the trailer. But it's a free to play game, so if you want to just get your feet wet and see what it's like as an MMO, you can give it a try. It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. Now, and then when you're ready for it, you can. It's just like any other MMO. It's like $15 a month, and the good thing about it versus WoW is there's no expansion packs, right? There's in-game purchases. You can buy in-game stuff if you really want to, but you don't have to. But there's no like World of Warcraft comes out with a new expansion pack every year,
right? And
then charges $50 or $60 for it every time. And they're not doing that with this.
So I got to ask
you. It's strictly the monthly. There's no game purchase.
So I got to ask you, for something like this where, free to play and all that,
mm-hmm.
Is it necessary? I know some games intentionally cripple themselves, so you pretty much have to buy something at some point. Do you feel, in your opinion, you have to?
If you're playing on free to play, if you're playing that, and they call I forget what they call them, but it's a different class of character. It's a different level. You're not a subscriber. You're just not a subscriber. You can still do everything you can if you were paying, if you are a subscriber. But there are limitations on some things. So one example is a lot of MMOs have skill trees. In terms of you can be a cook and cook new ingredients. You can be an engineer and build new things. And the Old Republic is no different. It has you can be a weapons crafter. You can make blasters and lightsabers, stuff like that. You can be a jeweler or something like that, and do that sort of thing. And there's no difference there. The difference there is if you're a free to play player, you're not a subscriber. You only can undo one of those things.
Okay.
If you're now, you can pick whichever one you want, but you can only do one at a time. If you're a subscriber, I think you can do up to 3 on each character. And there's also a limit on the number of characters you can have simultaneously. A subscriber can have 15 characters per server. A non-subscriber, I think, is limited to 3. So it's different. The other thing too is if you're a free-to-play player, before you reach level 10, you can't actually talk to anybody in the game, which is kind of weird. You have to either be a subscriber or reach level 10. And then there's some other perks for being a subscriber, a little bit faster level gains, stuff like that, and access to a market where you can put more money into it to buy better gear, but you don't have to.
Right.
So it's very much it's almost the TF2 approach to MMORPGs in that, yes, you can buy stuff in a market and you could get a lot of unlocks and stuff like that. But if you don't want to do that, there's no big advantage to it. And most of the stuff you can get over time just through playing.
So
The big difference is the character abilities that you only have so many career paths you can pick. Or you only have one career path you can pick of several options instead of 3 of the same options.
big download to grab and start.
It's well, they actually did kind of a cool thing about it. The first thing you download is the new world area, the new planet, so the new player areas.
Okay.
And so you can actually start the download, start the install, and it takes about maybe 5 minutes or so for it to download enough for you to start playing. And then while you're playing, it'll download the rest of the game in the background. So it actually is a pretty smart way to do it. I'm trying to remember exactly how big the whole game is. The whole game is 24 gigs.
Wow.
Which seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Well, it does seem like a lot, but remember, Titanfall is 50.
That's true.
So for an MMO, it's really not that extreme. So I've been playing mostly that. I have a couple characters that are up to around level 10 now, but playing with Cameron and his girlfriend. Yeah.
So you also have one other
I didn't play
passion
this
that
week.
you
Well, it's not a passion.
it's
It's just an entertaining game. Okay, if you're going to call it a passion, then we're going to have to call Euro Truck Simulator a passion of yours.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
A passion.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure, absolutely.
Right.
But no, but I think you initially got it at a Damland.
I did. Yes.
That was the first time you got it.
Yes, and it's called Car Mechanic Simulator 2014. And it sounds really goofy and it is definitely kind of strange. But
instead of getting your hands dirty in the real world, here you are working on a car in the fake world.
Yeah, but you don't get your hands dirty.
That's true,
right? Unless you pick up a little bit of muck from your mouse, which is pretty much your own fault. Don't eat Cheetos while you're playing.
As a shop foreman for a car repair shop, Woodinville Sports Cars.
Not a foreman. He's a service writer.
No,
he is a shop foreman now.
He got a promotion.
Yeah.
About time.
Do you still have to do all the service writing?
No.
But for Woodinville Sports Cars, check it out, woodinvillesportscars.com. I take my car there. John, how does this make you feel, seeing Joe working on cars and said when
lame? Actually, I watched him play it. It was just like, really?
It actually is not that bad. It ends up becoming
it's too much work.
It ends up becoming more of a puzzle thing.
Yeah.
Where somebody comes in, brings in a car. I mean, it's like doing any
3 different garages, Joe. There's 3 different garages.
Hey, you upgrade gradually.
Wow.
But somebody brings in a car and says, it's when I go around corners, it doesn't feel quite right or something like that. And you're supposed to diagnose and sort of figure out what the problem is and then replace
6 high poly cars.
But the reason because I played it a while ago, like a couple months ago now, and the reason I played it again this last week, not actually this week, but the week before, is they just released the 4x4 expansion, which if you have so now there's 4-wheel drive gearboxes and stuff like that. But the big thing is if you have the game, if you already purchased the game, the expansion is free.
Oh, that's nice.
It's just included. So that's kind of nice. And they are working on a turbo expansion. So something that'll introduce turbochargers. I don't know if they'll intro superchargers, but at least turbos to the game. So
well, that's easy to do chip tuning. All you do is just hook it up to a dyno, and then you just click some things.
Well, you gotta balance the air fuel mixtures right in that little graph thing. You click little buttons.
Yeah.
And they're
You're so into this.
Well, I mean, it's not that realistic, but it's entertaining. And like I said, honestly, anybody who plays a game like, let's say, Euro Truck Simulator or Farming Simulator,
nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with
sort
it.
of game.
Nothing wrong with it.
Really has no room to say anything negative about that.
Nothing wrong with it. Nope. Nope. Not at all. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. No.
Yeah.
No. Nothing wrong.
And besides that, Chase, we've talked about this. We're both into weird niche games.
Yes, we are.
I mean,
yep.
Of the 3 people here,
yep.
How many of us have the rail driver control set for? So, yeah.
Oh, I need to bust that out again. I need to play some
I have it,
rail driver.
Yeah, I have it around here somewhere.
So good. And when the cool thing about the rail, I gotta pull this up, but the cool thing about the rail driver is it's got a built-in speaker, which is pretty beefy. So you can
the subwoofer built in.
Yeah, so you plug it into your computer output, and you could it feels like you're driving a locomotive. It's great. John's just shaking his head.
Yeah, turn subwoofer, get the whole room to shake.
So you guys want to know what I've been playing?
Chase, tell us.
Wait.
Oh,
I'm gonna predict this.
Predict it.
Battlefield 4.
Yeah, but
And?
but I wasn't.
Shocking.
But that's
Truly
not.
shocking.
But that's not what I have. That's not what I have ready to go though. That's not the video that I have ready.
Yeah, but it's in your
What?
list.
It is in my list. Yes, I've been. There's a little bit of a faff. So this is MLB 2014, the show for PlayStation 4. I've been playing pretty much this game nonstop when it came out on Tuesday. Now, let me give you guys a little bit of background on this, because I picked up this game. Originally, I was going to get it on Amazon. I was going to buy it on disc. And then I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. PlayStation has their digital store. I'm going to pull the trigger on it. I'm going to, I'm going all digital with Xbox One. I'm already all digital with Steam. Might as well do the same thing with PlayStation, right? And even in the fine print, it said with PlayStation that the game would be available anytime on Tuesday after 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So what does that equate to Pacific Time, Joe? I know you're a good time guy. What does that equate to?
Well, that'd be about 9 p.m.
That's right, 9 p.m.
Little
Pacific
after
Time.
9,
Yeah. So I went ahead, I pulled the trigger. I pulled it, early the previous week, so I'd be ready to go. 9:01 comes around, and guess what happens?
Not available?
Not even not available, not downloadable, nothing.
Yeah.
It's just And so I'm thinking, all right, maybe or it's probably gonna be 12 o'clock my time. Okay, fine, whatever.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
I was up to like 4 a.m. I've been up late lately. Nothing. Just nothing. I'm on the Sony PlayStation boards, and it is people are just pissed. People are just like, this is the last time I buy anything digital from you, Sony. And so, I ended up going to bed without playing the game on release night, if you want to call it that. The next day, or later on in the day, after I woke up, it was finally available for download. And Sony sent an email later on the day. They said, we are so sorry the game was not available to download as promised. So here is $5 for in-game credit and $5 credit for anything off in our store. So, but yeah, I think the game is great. Graphically, it is beautiful. I'm glad I waited to get PlayStation 4 version of the show. The stadiums are just phenomenal. The announcing is really, really repetitive. Doesn't seem that they've updated it since like 3 years ago.
The announcing in a baseball game is repetitive?
Yes.
That's shocking.
Swinging.
Well, it used to be, 3 or 4 years ago when this game,
Did it have 8 different ways to say out? Or
No. I'm just talking about, like, say for example, so my guy, I have a creative player that throws knuckleballs. And the player can throw 68-mile-per-hour knuckleballs. And they have one comment. 68 miles per hour? Wow, that's just a few miles faster than the speed limit. And he says it like once a game, every game.
Can't you just turn off the commentary then?
Yes, you can. And it's very slow to turn off the
do that.
commentary, but yes, it is done. So yeah, no, I've been playing
the easiest solution.
I've been playing a lot of the show. Online play is awful right now, by the way. It's just, it feels very slushy. It's very, very awful. And so I don't recommend it for anybody. So you guys want to know another game that I've been playing?
You can get some awesome gameplay moments. This is Alt F10 Moments.
Do you know what Alt F10 Moments is, John? No?
No.
Well, look, take a look at this, John. Look, it's me being a sniper. Ooh, me getting a kill. This is actually all.
Is this one of those you cut together 18 hours of gameplay and got the best 4 kills?
Oh, Joe, more than that.
It's 20
more
hours.
hours than that.
Oh, you're being mean. This is actually a really good run right here. Here's me getting a 1,000-point chain of kills. I was in a LAV there, and then I got out under the bridge. And then I love this part. So I blew this guy away, and then I
Go back and hide under the bridge.
No. I set up a one of those things.
Claymore.
Yeah.
Claymore. And then I get some more ammo.
Kept hiding under the bridge. Okay.
Nope, I'm capping the point, Joe. And so I shot that guy, and now this guy gets me, but watch what happens to him. Watch this. So he gets me. He runs
Okay.
over.
And then he walks in front of you.
I love that. And then I did then I had a compilation of melees like this. Hello, hi, how are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. I just took your sandwiches. So yeah, I'm enjoying still playing Battlefield 4. I'm ranked now 109, so I'm 11 away from capping out, which is fun. Here's another one. Hi, how are you doing? There you go. Very nice. So yes, that's what I've been playing. There was I think I had one other game. Yeah, of course, Minecraft. I had Minecraft on the list, of course.
No.
So I've been doing that. So that's what we've been playing this week. So yeah, hopefully that was a fun segment. So big thing in the news over the past week is something called, you probably heard of it. If you're watching our show, you're tech or gaming minded, you might have heard of the term net neutrality and how it's been brought back up in the news recently because the Supreme Court, or I believe it was was it the Supreme Court?
It was an appeals court.
It was an appeals
US
court.
appeals
Yeah,
court.
that's right. An appeals court struck down provisions of net neutrality because Verizon said, hey, no, the FCC does not have authority to do this because, hey, they didn't designate, I'm paraphrasing, they didn't designate us as common carriers, so they have no authority to impose these restrictions, meaning that they could not prioritize traffic or, make traffic slow down and give other traffic preference. I know I just said the same thing twice, but I was just trying to make it clear for you guys.
I'm not clear on that. Can you
No, I'm
Oh,
no.
okay.
Stop it. Just stop it. Damn it. But anyway,
Well, the most obvious example of this.
yes, you can give an
is
obvious example.
The most obvious example, and the way this was actually almost an immediate impact was if you're a Comcast subscriber, you might have noticed right after that ruling happened that all of a sudden your Netflix video quality just went through the floor. Just
Very
dropped
slow.
really
you
badly.
couldn't connect.
And
it was
and
bad.
it literally happened like the week after the Court of Appeals turned over this ruling that the FCC had, and that was them, Comcast, saying we don't want to allow this much bandwidth to Netflix because we think it costs us money. Well, the problem with that, and the what ended up happening is basically Comcast said, hey, we'll be happy to give Netflix priority traffic if Netflix pays for the line to go in
Now,
for a new network connection between our two networks. Now, historically, the issue is historically that the internet's always been the other way around, that you pay for the data you're carrying. And that's the data that your endpoint users use. Doesn't matter where it connects to on the internet. Doesn't matter if you're going from a Google customer or a Microsoft customer, Comcast customer to a Verizon customer. Say somebody's playing a game at home or whatever like that. It wouldn't make a difference. Both ends are paying for their connection, and the carriers are paying for the connection between the two. And that's the way it's always been. Comcast is saying, no, all of our users are downloading more than they're uploading. Well, they're all cable modem subscribers who can't upload as much as they download.
they capped that off anyway.
And now they're saying, because of that, everyone who they're downloading from disproportionately, like Netflix, has to pay a fee to increase that bandwidth. So they're making it definitely a tiered internet where, depending on the provider you're going through, depending on how much that company has paid, you can imagine it reaching the point where Google has to pay Comcast money in order for Comcast to carry Google content. Right. Or they will prioritize Bing traffic, let's say.
Yes.
That sort of thing. And it's going to become a big issue.
Right.
It's a major problem. And honestly, I know it sounds like I'm picking on Comcast, but at least initially, Comcast is the company that's really been taking advantage of this. And they're the ones who really have started doing this really badly.
Yeah, and Netflix, they felt that they had to make a move. They felt like they didn't have a choice. Yeah, they felt like they didn't have a choice. They had to make a move because their customers were starting to suffer. And then, of course, Netflix needs to protect their business and their interests and say, hey, we want to try to deliver the best experience to our customers as possible. And they've
shockingly, the video quality on Hulu didn't change at all.
Yeah.
Because Hulu is a partially Comcast-owned business.
Yeah, there's a lot
So-
of companies involved with Hulu. Yeah.
Right. And so I mean, that's what we're actually talking about. And there's a bunch of companies that are in support of reinstituting net neutrality in a real fashion, making sure that it's something that doesn't get changed, doesn't get overturned in the future.
Yeah.
And it's something that honestly, you watching this as an internet user, you need to be behind this. You know, do your best effort. Write your politicians,
So-
your senators, and your House of Reps people. Support this idea of net neutrality, because it is really, really important to the future of the internet.
It's not only important, obviously, to the future of the internet. It's important to us. It's important. It should be important to you guys if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, or you're even watching us directly on our website. All that internet traffic. You know, we're a very small company here. I don't make a profit right now in doing what I'm trying to do, and so I don't have those funds to try to get that preferential treatment on the internet that Netflix is able to pull the trigger on. One thing I want to show you guys, it's a little long, but I think it's very important to show you. And it kind of gives a nice cap of what's going on. And it's explained beautifully, in my opinion, and with some artwork and everything. This is from user Vihart on YouTube. And I really want to show you guys what this is all about and what we can do about it, and really what is next to come. So, kick back, chill, and check this out. This is some great stuff. Here we go.
So say your local mail delivery truck stops in front of your house, which is good because 2 days ago you ordered 2 different books with 2-day shipping, sent out at the same time from similar locations, and you're pretty excited for them both. The delivery driver picks up your 2 packages and starts reading the labels. One is from a small independent bookstore they've never heard of. The other is from a large chain they've already delivered like 20 packages from today. Instead of just dropping them both off, the driver makes a phone call to the big bookseller and says, "Hey, I sure deliver a lot of your packages." The company replies, "Yeah, our customers really like our stuff." The driver says, "I'm pretty sure your packages take up like 30% of the space in my truck. We're going to need to hire more trucks if you keep this up." The company says, "Wow, you must be so happy that our customers are paying you to deliver so many packages from us that you can expand your business." And the driver's like, "Right, look, I'm thinking I don't want to carry more than 1 package all this way to the customer's door, and there's this other package from another address for them, so I think I might just deliver that one." And the big company is like, "What? The customer paid for 2-day shipping from you. You can't just decide not to deliver it, because we give you too much business?" The driver says, "Relax, I'll deliver it eventually. Just might take a while. Unless, of course, you'd like to help us out. Just a little extra shipping fee, and we'll deliver your book on time." As the customer waiting for your books, what do you think you and the book company should do? Report the driver? No way what they're doing is legal. So you report them. But it turns out their lobbyists have convinced the government that what they're doing is okay. No, it's not just okay, it's innovation. Fine, maybe you can do capitalism to it. The big book chain starts using another delivery company, one that appreciates the amount of business they're getting from those deliveries. And of course, you'd rather pay for shipping from a company that actually follows through on their promises, and new businesses grow. Hooray! That's how it should work, which is why a lot of people think that's how it does work. So say you have a $100 a month contract with Comcast to deliver you whatever data you order at a certain speed. And you order data from Netflix, and Netflix sends the data your way, but just before it gets to your house, it has to go through cables Comcast owns. And Comcast says, "Wow, Netflix, you give us so much business. Pay us money, or we'll slow down your site until it's frustratingly unusable." Netflix should be able to say, "Yeah, no thanks. First of all, you're going to lose your customers if you don't give them the service they're paying for. And second, why wouldn't you want to lay down more cable and expand your business? Wouldn't that make you more money?" It would make so much sense if Comcast's reply was, "Gee, Netflix, you're right. We don't want to lose customers. We want to lay more bigger cable, expand our business, and make more money." But as anyone who pays for their own internet and has tried comparison shopping knows, that's not how it works. Comcast can reply, "First of all, we're not going to lose customers. What can they do? Move somewhere else that has cables laid down by one of our very good friends? Second of all, we don't need the business from delivering your content. We can already charge as much as we want. Look, this sucker is paying almost $100 a month for 10 megabytes a second on a good day. Third, Netflix competes with their own video content. If Netflix is unwatchably slow and people leave to watch cable TV, which we've conveniently packaged in with their internet service, that's a win-win, and both wins are for us. Fourth, when your site doesn't load, it may be our fault, but the customer doesn't see us artificially restricting the data they ordered, they see you being slow, so pay up. And Netflix did. This already happened. Truth is, there's a lot of homes and businesses where the local internet service provider has a monopoly. Capitalism does not work when monopolies block the way between producers and consumers. That's not rhetoric, it's math. Capitalism doesn't work when it's impossible for new businesses to emerge in a market. Look at how much trouble Google is having with Google Fiber, and they're Google. In many parts of the US, there's a good chance that Comcast is your only option. You'll pay for internet because you need internet, but you'll be paying 3 times as much as people are paying for the internet in Seoul or Tokyo, for service that's 10 times slower. We're being artificially held back on purpose. When you order a book, the delivery truck drives on their own driveways, public roads, toll roads, the private lane that goes to the bookstore's warehouse, all the way to your street and outside your house. And then, in this allegory, you pay Comcast to hire a company to make and maintain a driveway so that the Comcast trucks can get from the road to your house. And because they built that driveway, only their trucks are allowed to use it. If you lived in Tokyo, you'd have a nice, wide, perfectly paved road, but Comcast made you a little dirt road full of potholes. You'd like Comcast to fix it, or to hire someone else to, but there's no one else to hire, so instead of fixing it, Comcast charges you even more and still doesn't fix it. Here's the officially proposed rule the FCC is considering. Internet service providers must offer some amount of access to all legal internet things, but they can offer a fast lane to certain content providers. This sounds like maybe Comcast and Netflix collaborate to put in a special cable all the way from Netflix right to your home to get super fast Netflix service. But that's not what this fast lane is. It's not even a nice new paved driveway. The fast lane means that Comcast puts a gate in front of your driveway. The Netflix trucks are allowed in right away because they paid off the gatekeeper. You invite your friend over and your friend has to wait outside the gate for a while, even when no one else is using your driveway. If you want to watch Netflix right now, yes, you should be able to prioritize Netflix's data and slow everything else down. But if after that you want to torrent the latest Vi Heart video, there's no technical reason you shouldn't be able to put that in the fast lane. You're not paying your ISP for content, you're paying them to deliver the content you choose. Except they decided maybe they do want to control what content you can choose, and the FCC's proposed rule would make that officially okay, which is a huge reversal of the FCC's position that happened when Tom Wheeler, a former cable lobbyist, became chairman. In 2004, the FCC basically said, hey, ISPs, we made some network neutrality rules for you. Yay, open internet. And then Comcast started throttling BitTorrent, which was against those rules. There was a court case that Comcast won with the argument that the FCC couldn't legally enforce those rules because they weren't official enough. So the FCC created the Open Internet Order of 2010 and voted on it and passed it, and finally net neutrality had real official rules. And Verizon took the FCC to court and was like, are you sure those rules are for us? Because they look a lot like the rules for common carriers, and we're not common carriers, so we're thinking those rules don't apply to us. And Verizon won. So if the FCC can't enforce their own rules because ISPs aren't classified as common carriers, a lot of people think that the FCC's next move should be to classify ISPs as common carriers. Basically, a common carrier can't discriminate among the things they carry. Airlines and telephone companies are common carriers, so Apple can't pay Virgin America to not let any Microsoft employees on their flights. T-Mobile can't purposely drop your call when you're trying to order a pizza if Domino's won't pay them a cut of the order. Up till recently, ISPs have been acting like common carriers. They built their businesses on customers' expectations that they were common carriers, like other telecommunication services, and with the benefit of the legal protection given to telecommunication services, such as not being liable for the content that moves through their cables. In 1998, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act thing happened, which gave ISPs more protection from liability for their users' actions. Still back when ISPs acted as if they were common carriers. Right now, ISPs control content without being liable for that content. The Telecommunications Act of 1996 helped ISPs become big and powerful. They merged and formed monopolies, and then they decided it was in their best interest not to be considered a telecommunications service, but an information service, which would be less regulated, and also have fewer protections, but since they were now protected by the DMCA, that wasn't a problem. There were a bunch of hearings, they won, they lost, and then in 2005 they managed to convince 6 out of 9 judges that even though the internet is a telecommunications service, they also do other things. And the Telecommunications Act that would have classified them as a common carrier telecommunications service does not clearly state that they have to be classified that way, even if they do other things. Many net neutrality activists are asking you to call your representative and sign petitions and make an official comment to the FCC that the current fast lane plan is not net neutrality, and that the FCC should instead hold strong to its original plan of treating ISPs like common carriers by actually designating broadband internet as a Title II common carrier telecommunication service. If you're going to make that call or official comment, I want you to make it with full confidence that it is right and fair, because it's not legal to classify corporate entities as being whatever you want just because yay, internet. And the internet has other problems besides net neutrality. There's only a handful of ISPs. They're huge and powerful, with huge, powerful lobbyists, many of which are now FCC employees. They have local monopolies. They work for each other's benefit instead of as competitors. And there's no way for a new competitor to enter their market. Making them common carriers will limit the damage they can do, but it won't make them any less of a cartel. Comcast is trying to get approval to buy Time Warner Cable, and it's completely nuts that the FCC is even considering it. We have antitrust laws because it's one of those beautiful mathematical inevitabilities that without intervention, monopolies will form. If you think stopping the biggest ISP from merging with the second biggest ISP is what antitrust laws are made for, please speak out against this merger and mergers like them. Links included below for doing stuff and learning more. You can call, tweet, or email Tom Wheeler and the other FCC commissioners and tell them what you think about net neutrality, the merger, concern over having so many previous cable lobbyists now working for the FCC, whatever it is you care about. You can ask your local representative in government to do what they can. You can sign petitions, and you can make an official comment on any FCC proceeding on the FCC website, which very few people bother to do because, one, most of the momentum around saving the internet is built up around signing up for third-party websites and mailing lists or retweeting and upvoting infographics and articles. And two, for it to be a real official comment, you have to publicly give your real name and address, which might put you off if you're not absolutely sure you're doing the right thing. I hope this video makes things clearer for you.
So there you go. There's the video. And I know it was long, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with that. It's one of those things that we all, if we appreciate the internet the way it is, and we do not want it to degrade, that we comment officially, not just by signing a petition, like she said, or retweeting, but actually commenting to the FCC and commenting to our government and our officials. That is really the only way that we have the potential of getting our voice heard and fighting through the money, the lobbies, and all the other people that have their best interests in mind. So, but I really want to say that I think that really put a cap on what is going on. And I agree that I think the answer here, Joe and John, is to classify ISPs as common carriers. I think that's the first step, right? It's one of those things where I think that's the first step.
Well, yeah. Clearly, we need them to be common carriers, but there also needs to be some sort of penalty for them breaking these restrictions. And I mean, we can see really clearly that they do it at the drop of a hat. And anybody who says, well, it doesn't matter, I'm not with Comcast, or I'm not with Time Warner, who's going to soon become Comcast, I'm with some other ISP, I don't have to worry about this. You're wrong. You do need to worry about this.
Yeah. You do.
It's going to affect every ISP.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, there is a big group of companies that are all behind this push to make this happen, and Google's one of them. Microsoft's on the list. God, I can't even remember all the companies that are on there, but a whole bunch of really big tech industry companies, I think Microsoft's in there too, are all now doing the same thing. They're pushing the other direction. They're lobbying against Comcast. Now, one thing I think is kind of interesting is Google is on the side of net neutrality, even though Google is working on becoming an ISP.
Yeah.
Which I know I've given a lot of crap to Google in the past about abandoning their do no evil mantra that they used to have. But this is actually a really good thing, and it is good to see Google pushing for this, even though they are gradually becoming an ISP in some areas. And if you think that waiting on Google will solve all your problems and you will just be able to move off Netflix and be on Google and it won't be an issue, you have to be in a very small number of areas, and you also have to be really lucky that Comcast hasn't already lobbied your local representatives to not allow Google to come in. That's already happened in at least one city where Google is ready to start moving in, and the city said, "Oh no, I'm sorry, we can't come to a franchise agreement, so you're not allowed in."
See, our chat room, Jack Craft over on Twitch is saying, well, that makes sense if the public company paid for it and not Comcast. But if Comcast paid for the cables and laid them down, they have every right to decide how they want to run their business. And that's not exactly true. Well, yes.
Well, there's two sides of that.
Yeah, well, Comcast first, yes. They provided the materials and their...
It's called the last mile.
Right. They provide all those equipment. But one thing you got to remember is cities sign agreements, like Joe just mentioned, a franchise agreement where Comcast has to provide service to X percentage of customers in a geographical area. Another thing, too, is they usually provide tax breaks to maybe incentivize these companies to push into certain areas. But another thing that happens is Comcast then fights tooth and nail to prevent other companies from coming in to those cities. We've seen it happen in a handful of states. I know Washington is one. I'm not sure if Oregon is, where it is illegal. It is straight illegal for a local city or municipality to start their own ISP if there's like a company like Comcast already in their town, because they're tired of Comcast not providing those upgrades and doing those things.
Well, and the other thing, too, to keep in mind is this has already happened.
Yeah.
That the idea of opening your lines to competition and allowing competition to use it, that's already happened. It hasn't happened with Comcast because they ruled that cable didn't apply to this. But when the telephone industry started introducing DSL, all of the DSL providers, all of those telephone companies were required to open up their lines to allow other people to provide that DSL internet service.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's unusual. It's not like it's never happened before. It is. It's a very much a monopoly that those companies, that mostly the cable companies, have managed to get themselves into, and there's really, really no way to break that across the entire U.S. There's just too much property that they cover.
Yeah.
And with them combining and working together, Comcast and Time Warner coming together, Comcast and Cox have long-term co-marketing goals and business plans. So those two are really working together. Yeah. It's a really, really hard market to crack into. And Google's the only company that's been able to do it in a while because they don't think they're going to make a profit.
Yeah.
For like 100 years.
Yeah.
It's not a we'll be into it for 5 years and we'll start making a profit. No, they're anticipating losing money on their cable initiatives for a very long time.
Yeah.
And then there's also of course, even if you welcome Google into your house, you have to go back to the NSA question and how trustworthy is anything that's going in.
We're so screwed, Joe. We are so screwed everywhere.
No, we really are.
Yeah.
And anybody who thinks you can move to another country and get out of it, no, because if you move to a country that's a little bit more welcoming to internet, they probably don't have Netflix there,
or they have some sort of hindrance or freedom problem.
Yeah. So I mean,
I say at this point, we need to really come together. I mean, I know a lot of you guys out there when we talk about these things go, whatever.
Yeah.
You guys, seriously. I don't care. It doesn't matter if you're of age to vote or not. Remember, representatives are for all the people, not just those of voting age. You need to contact your representatives. You need to contact the FCC. And you need to stand up for this. This is very, very important. When you have a guy, as said in the video, and by the way, we'll have a link to that video. It's an awesome video. It is Creative Commons, so you can share that with anybody you'd wish. When you have somebody that's in charge of the FCC who is basically bought and paid for, in my humble opinion, by the lobbies of the cable and telecommunication companies out there. He is not in our interests. He is not looking out for you and I. He's looking out for those big companies. So we need to fight back. We need to make sure our voices are heard and share what is going on. And we have time to do it. We still have time. These new regulations that they want to try to potentially enact are still being discussed at this stage. So this is the time to get your voice heard and to fight strong. And we need to do that. So make sure you guys do that. Last thing I want to talk about, we cannot do a show without doing an Eve story for John. And I saw this story, John, and I know you got to have an opinion on this because you probably already know about this more than anybody. There was a monument, an actual real-life monument that was constructed. And 2 weeks after this monument was constructed, it was vandalized. And not only it was vandalized, but it was straight up vandalized. Eve developer CCP taught several former Eve players this lesson in the best possible way this week after the Icelandic studio, this is from Kotaku, tracked down 4 people responding for vandalizing a real-life monument. In addition to pressing criminal charges against the players, Eve community manager CCP Falcon, which John knows. John, you know Falcon.
Yeah, we hang out all the time.
Yeah, you have drinks.
Yeah.
Said in a post yesterday on the Games Forum that they will face even a harsher punishment in the real world, that they will get punished with a lifetime ban for vandalizing this item. Now, you're an Eve player, John.
Yeah.
Have you seen the real life monument?
Not in person. I've seen
no,
pictures
but
of it.
you've seen pictures, and
yeah,
I mean, it looks pretty massive. It looks really big.
It's big.
It's really big.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the scale compared to the mountains there in the back. It's big.
Yeah, it's out on their port down on the waterfront.
I mean, all right, it's not that big. I'm sorry. There it is. I was trying to mess with you guys.
Yeah.
No, but it's nice. It's pretty. And so as an Eve player, first off, how did it make you feel that this item was vandalized?
Like, that's just it is sad. It's just a bunch of tools.
It's trolls.
Yeah.
They're trolls. Yeah.
Real life trolls, and if you're gonna troll and get caught, you should pay the price.
All right. So I got to ask you then, this, John, as an Eve online player, do you believe? So all right. So you got kids. I don't know if they're kids. It's 4 people.
Yeah.
Went and vandalized this monument 2 weeks after it was erected. How do you feel about these people?
We should mention what vandalized means.
Right.
In this context.
Yeah. So go ahead, Joe.
It's not like they planted explosives at the bottom of it and now it's gone.
Right.
No,
you're
scratched
right.
out the name of a player that they didn't like.
Yeah, I had a picture right there. You could see it.
Yeah. So, which is still completely just a giant douchey thing to do. But
right there. Yeah.
But yeah,
it's not like it's irreparable. It's not like the monument came down.
Well, it'd be hard to repair because my understanding is that it's basically a giant sheet of aluminum that they scratched this out.
So they'll have to put a sticker over it maybe or something.
They'll have to something. Yeah.
So, all right. So let me ask you the question, John, since I think you're the most qualified to answer this question. Do you think for scratching a name on a monument for the game that you love, the game that you pay $15 a month for.
Except for we don't have to pay for expansions.
Whatever. Whatever. You still pay $15 a month.
Yeah.
Do you think this player should be banned for life?
Sure.
Really?
Sure.
Why? For life. For life. Joe can't believe that he's confident.
No, I'm actually with John on this. I don't have a problem. I agree with this punishment and
for life.
Support it.
Yeah, I mean,
from EVE Online.
Yeah.
And Dust 514 for that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
granted, can't they just sign up with a new account though? Can't they? I mean,
they could, but it sounds like when they did this investigation on who exactly it was,
right?
Because there was another article I had that had way more in depth than what Kotaku has. Big surprise.
Zing. Thanks, Kotaku.
Uh,
Thanks for the story.
Anyway, they actually, in addition to banning the main accounts on these users, they actually tracked them and figured out the other accounts these people had. And one of them had 5 accounts that they disabled and deleted. Another one had 2 or 3, and not individual characters, full on separate logins. Like a whole separate accounts. And they were able to tie them together probably through billing and address and IP address information.
Okay.
And so I would guess that they blacklisted all of that information for those people, because, they deserve it. Seriously, if you're willing, if you're going to do that to something that's in real life, something that actually is a potentially permanent defacement, something that isn't easily changed, you're more than likely going to be a giant tool on the online environment where it seems like you're way more anonymous.
Yeah. No, I mean, for a great correlation to this is, for example, we have rules for a Minecraft server, and one of the rules is griefing, and if you grief, you're gone.
Yeah,
and very, very.
But that's a digital change, though.
That's a digital change.
This is something that
this
is
a
in
physical,
real life.
Right.
This is a physical thing.
Yeah. So
and it's gonna, I mean, how for what they've paid for their accounts. And what they, over a lifetime, is that going to be, is that enough of a cost offset to what's going to take to fix that? If it gets, if it gets fixed,
certainly not.
No, that's, they screwed up and they should pay the price.
Yeah, and now, granted, I don't know what the laws are in that country for vandalism. However, they may potentially get probation or work. Maybe.
Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on what they consider this, because it's if they manage to get it classified as a national monument of some sort, there may be much heavier penalties.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. If they're going to get a national monument status,
well, I don't know. Well,
why not? There's monuments for stuff all over the place that only affects a very small percentage of the population.
That's true.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I think that while it may feel and sound harsh when you're just reading it at the surface of a lifetime ban from a game, they obviously knew what they were doing. They were being intentionally malicious. They are desecrating a user's name, but not only that, they're desecrating a monument dedicated to the game that they enjoy.
Yeah. And and if especially if they were looking for that specific guy's name, it had to have been they had to have sat there for quite a while looking at the thing to find the guy's name.
Well, there's a website where you can go and actually track exactly where you are. In fact, if you know you can actually look up where you are, John, on that.
Wow.
Well,
on that
because technically my character name should be on that somewhere.
Anybody who was in EVE Online before February something.
John's on there. John's been on EVE since the beginning of time. So. No, I'm just kidding. Gradrock in the chat room is asking a great question. But Chase, if you found that a person from our server violated another player's property in real life, and the only tie between these two is a server, what would my reaction be? Well, first off, hopefully we could aid in authorities to track down information to lead the guy's arrest. I mean, that's something I would terribly not stand for. So I don't know the form of the question there, but no, I mean, it's one of those things where, you know what? Not only we would ban him, of course, from the site, but I would try to find a way to ban him from accessing Geek Gamer TV stuff, at least at the site anyway. But no, I found that as a great story, and it's nice to see a company like EVE stand up for their players and really, John, stand up for you.
Mm-hmm.
They're standing up for you, John.
CCP does it for me.
Yeah. We're bringing back another thing to the show. Another thing that we're going to bring back. It's something called Picks of the Week. Mm-hmm. These are things that interest us. It could be a game. It could be an item. It could be a technological thing. And we ask the fellow hosts of the show and guests, if we have them on for the week, what their picks of the week are. Now, Joe, unfortunately, you will not be here next week.
No,
but you have a great reason, and that's one of your picks this week. And why don't you talk about it?
So, I'm going to be at a thing called PDX Age. It's the first.
It's John's
event.
old. Is it a John old thing?
No, it's not.
Damn it!
It's PDX. So PDX LAN. Most people should know PDX LAN is a LAN party. It happens in Portland, Oregon, every 3.5 times a year.
Yeah.
And it's 500 people. PDX Age is sort of a spawn from that.
Okay.
It's created by the same couple. Matt and Jessica have both built this, and this is a analog gaming event. That's what Age comes from.
Oh, that is so cool.
And so it's all tabletop games and stuff like that. And one of the games I'm gonna be playing there is I just picked this up. This is the X-Wing miniatures.
There's a hole, Joe.
Yeah, that's because I opened the box.
Okay.
So
just checking.
You got a hole in your wing.
what it is you actually play with little different starships.
Oh, these are cute.
And it's a miniatures game. So they go on these little stands and you move them around a board and you fight each other and fire lasers. Anyway, there's all kinds of different.
Do you get to yell? I'm firing my lasers as you do it.
I suppose you could if you wanted.
Okay. Just checking.
Okay. Haven't done that. Don't plan to do that. But yeah. Anyway, so that's where I'm going to be next weekend. It runs from Friday afternoon all the way through Sunday.
That is awesome.
So if you're in the Portland area, come on, check it out. There are tickets available online right now for the whole thing, or they will have some tickets at the door. I'm not sure how many. So
Ages.
But yeah, it should be a really good time.
So hopefully this turns into a common event. This what really feels like to me, like if you will, the kind of like the cool thing about PAX, where you got a lot of people just hanging out playing board games. Now you're going to have a dedicated event for that purpose. I think that's phenomenal. I think that's great.
Right, and if you think so, Star Wars, the X-Wing miniatures is by far not the only game that's going to be there. If you've ever been to a PDX land, it's in a fairly large room, and it's going to be. They have tables that are going to be set aside for like every possible tabletop game you want, and then a whole bunch that are set aside just for whatever you want to play. So there's going to be areas that are dedicated to Magic if you just want to play Magic. There's going to be areas that are set aside for other tabletop games besides Star Wars. I think there's going to be tournaments and contests throughout the event. All kinds of stuff happening during the age, and it should be a really, really good time. But I'm trying to think of some of the other games that I know they're going to be there. Oh, and the one of the cool things is they're bringing a game library. So just like where PAX, where you could go and check out a game and play it for a few hours or whatever you wanted, they're going to have a bunch of games. I think 150 or 200 games are going to be available in the game library, ranging from really common to super niche stuff. So, but if you come there expecting to play nothing but Monopoly, and sorry, you're probably going to miss out because I don't think there's going to be too many people playing that. You might be able to get a game going.
John, you know, we need to play some Dominion. We haven't played Dominion in a while. I have like that super set up in the closet.
Dominion.
So I'm gonna break out my old Pirates cards.
Oh, there you go.
I guess there's a group that'll be there that all do Pirates.
That's awesome. That's so cool. So PDX Age. Can
PDX
people,
Age, if you want more info.
Can people still go? Is there?
Oh yeah,
is there,
yeah.
So,
okay.
All right.
So there are tickets. Like I said, there are tickets available on the website right now. You can buy tickets for the whole event. That'll get you in there all 3 days. Or they are going to have some tickets available at the door. I'm not sure what the costs are on any of them. But I think it's only like $30 for the whole thing, and then the door tickets are going to be cheaper than that, but because they'll only be 1 day at a time, basically. So, but yeah, it however you want to do it, stop on by. It's Portland at the Holiday Inn near the Portland Airport. It should be a good time. So I'll be there.
Now, since we haven't done picks of the week in ages,
yeah.
All right, no one got that. Someone got it. Someone laughed somewhere. I know it.
Yeah,
since we haven't done
somewhere.
Yeah, since we haven't done it in a while, you don't just have one pick. You have two picks.
I do.
And the second pick is a Kickstarter that you pulled the trigger on, and it's something called Astro, and it's not a Chevy van.
Right. No, it is not a Chevy van. I do have one of those.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
this is not that.
Does it have lasers?
So Astro
lasers.
Astro is this. It's a really cool little
just got one in
thingy.
his hand. Ooh,
Yeah,
it's got black dials on it.
Yeah, this is the limited edition with black dials.
Look at you.
Whatever.
Look
anyway,
look at you.
What's really cool about it is basically with these dials, you can set the top dial is duration, how long you want it to go for. The middle dial is angle.
There we go. Go ahead.
And the very bottom dial is time at each angle, and or time per shot rather.
Right.
And so you can also program it with your phone if you have an iPhone. They don't have an Android app out yet, but they are working on one. And what's really cool is, you hit the button and it will sit there and move the camera, snap a photo, move the camera, snap a photo, move the camera, snap a photo. It actually works pretty well. I took some photos with it over the weekend. I was up at a campsite outside of Portland and tried to take a few photos. We'll see how they turn out. But yeah, it's a really, really simple way to do panning time lapses like that, if that's the sort of thing you're into. And what attracted, because there are some competitors to this, and what attracted me to this one is you don't have to use your phone. If you don't want to use your phone, you can do all the entry right on the dials and set it to exactly what you want. If you do want to use your phone, then you have a lot more control, a lot more options in terms of what you can set. But
is it pretty durable? Well. Is it like, I mean, the
it's
build
a
quality?
Pretty hefty chunk of metal.
Okay.
It seems really durable to me. The dials all spin really easily. And yeah, they're pretty nice. It does run off a pair of AA batteries. There's a rubber cover that goes on top. And so it runs just off a pair of AA batteries, and it just hooks into a shoe mount. I just have it hooked in. Normally, I just have it mounted on the shoe mount for my tripod.
Cool. Is this item now? I noticed on their website you can buy it. Is this available on Amazon or is it just direct through them?
No, it's they're still they're just now delivering to Kickstarters. That's why I got mine on Friday.
Okay.
So they're in production for the Kickstarters. I think you can do a pre-order now, but you're probably not going to see it for a month or more. I'm not sure, but it is a really, really cool device and something to pay attention to. And like I said, I watched it when it was on Kickstarter and was like, that's really, really cool. I was tempted between this one and the main competitor is called the Radian, which I think is slightly more available. But again, with the Radian, you have to use your smartphone to program it. With this,
right,
you can just do it with the dials.
And I remember looking at it and I said, like, I wish I could pull the trigger on it, but I couldn't at the time. But it's very, very cool, and I can't wait to see some of the stuff that you come up with, Joe. Hopefully, you'll show us.
Yeah, I just did, like I said, I did some photos over the weekend on my camera, my newish camera, and yeah, I'll have to throw some photos up, or throw some videos up, actually, hopefully in the next couple weeks.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, Joe. Now, John, John works at a car shop. Mm-hmm. WoodinvilleSportsCars.com. Rick should be happy. I'm plugging the website. It's a very nice website.
He's gonna totally showcase the game that I was playing a couple weeks ago, isn't he?
Actually,
I know he is. He's gonna pick of the week. Car mechanic simulator. I know he is.
No. Actually, it's an actual car mechanic tool. What is your pick of the week, John? Please tell me about this because I have no idea what this is.
So one of our tool peddlers. That's what we call them, tool peddlers.
So these are the guys that come.
Term, yeah.
So they come to your shop. You guys in the real world, you know, that don't work in the industry, you might see those big tool trucks, those like Mack tool trucks, or
well, not big. They're like cube vans.
Well, yeah. But they're
if you're picturing trucks. A semi truck. That's not quite right.
Yeah.
Not stool peddlers, as DX9S says, but a pedestal. Anyway. What is your pick, John? Well, talk about this.
So the other week he came in, and the link you have to go to for the part that I'm talking about is Matco Tools. If you go to Matco,
we'll have a link.
Tools,
we'll have a link. Don't worry.
And Chase has got it up on the screen. They call it the mini jump. Now this little guy is it's got a USB port on the front.
Okay.
But it also has a modular connector on the end, and in the kit it comes with it. You got both an AC and a DC charger. It's got a pair of jumper cables that snap into it, or it's got a another unit that plugs in.
Sorry. I'll go
back.
That was
the other brand.
I'll go back to it. There we go. But so let me ask you this real quick. So this is $189. Mm-hmm. This is pretty pricey.
Yeah.
I've seen these as seen on TV things that you just plug into the cigarette lighter adapter, John. It says they'll charge your battery in 15 minutes, and then you can just start your car, and they're like $40.
Yeah.
What am I getting when I'm paying almost $200 for the mini jump? What's so good about this thing?
It's the flashlight. It's all about the flashlight.
It's the best flashlight I've ever used. It blinds people.
Well, for me, it's the fact that the guy will deliver it in my hand, and if it screws up, I give it to him, and I say, "This is bad."
John, you give me $200, I'll deliver you a $50 jump game. No, but so this thing this thing's about the size of your hand.
Yeah,
and it will jump your car.
Yes, and actually, our Shane, our tool guy. He said, they got one, and he's looking at it going, yeah, right.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
Yeah, no, they went to the shop. They actually used a Duramax truck.
Okay. Oh, so a big diesel, big, huge diesel truck.
Or no, well, I mean, just a pit, yeah.
And they intentionally ran the battery down.
Yes.
How do you intentionally?
Well, you
just leave
put
the
like
lights
you
on?
just put a crappy battery in there, or leave
Oh,
the lights
okay.
on.
All
You know,
right,
put
all
one
right.
in there.
All right, fair enough.
They jump started it 5 times with this.
Wow.
They said, the plug started to get warm a little bit, but it put out enough that they were impressed.
Hey, guess what?
What?
My camera turned off because
No
I think
way.
you accidentally unplugged it when you were messing around over there.
The one up there?
Yeah. Don't worry. I have a backup camera.
Oh, you get the backup camera.
I have a backup camera. Thank
See?
God I have the
Okay.
backup camera. Hi.
It shouldn't be unplugged.
It's off. It's
Yeah.
straight turned off on me. But go
All
ahead,
right, well,
continue.
we'll go.
Yeah, we'll fix it here in a minute while I'm doing
so-
my pick.
And it was funny. Shane said that originally they had gotten 20 of them gone in a week.
Wow, that good.
Yeah, he said. So he goes, I ordered 40 more, but it's probably going to be a
so
month.
in case you guys are wondering, here are the specs on this while John is going to check the camera battery and cable and all that, the power cable. This thing is incredible. So it's got 300 cranking amps, 400 cranking amps. This thing has a 12,000 milliamp battery, which is really freaking cool, which is the same, Joe, I don't know if you remember, as our sliver. I think our sliver is like near 15,000. It does have a flashlight. It's on now. Yeah, it's on now. It's got, and this is incredible, John. It's only a 2 to 3 hour charging time, and the USB output is not just your normal USB output. It has the 2 amp output, so it will charge your iPad. It will charge heavy duty stuff.
I should hope so. If it can put out 300
Yeah.
amps, then it should be able to put out a 2 amp charge.
What kind of batteries are they using in this thing?
Well,
this is
actually,
phenomenal.
If I may, I
Yes,
have
you
the
may.
answer to that particular question.
Please, Joe,
they're
enlighten
basically
us.
using the same battery tech that we in the RC industry have had for a few years now. They're using LiPos, lithium polymer batteries. And this particular battery I pulled out, this is the biggest one I have, which isn't very big. It's for one of my planes. This is a 3,600 milliamp hour battery. It's rated at what's called 40C, which means that it can put out 40 times the current of the amp hour rating. So this is a 3.6 amp hour battery. This little thing, theoretically, at 3.6 amps times 40, can put out 144 amps of power in a peak. And this is a relatively small battery. But they're basically using this. They're using new lithium polymer tech or newer lithium polymer tech to run these chargers. And you know what, when John pointed this story out to me, when he actually forwarded me this product earlier this week, I was like, holy crap, that makes a lot of sense. How come no one else is doing it?
Yeah, and someone says, "Hey, we're going to start doing it."
Right, and because these batteries, these LiPo batteries have been available, they've been on the market in really, and actually 12,000 milliamp hours seems like a lot, but there are much bigger LiPo batteries out there for RC. They're just really expensive.
Yeah, and so that's why even though it's 180, it looks so small for the price. There's this. Now, John, you had here in the show notes.
Well, Joe came up with that. He
I
said,
Joe,
added
I'm
that.
sorry. Joe,
This is one of the competitors.
okay.
And so this is it's a 12,000 milliamp hour, so it's still rated the same. It can still crank your engine over. It'll output, I think, about the same current in terms of amperage. I don't actually see them list specifically what the amp output is on this.
There's a great size comparison. So there's your battery.
That's a great shot of the size. And the thing that really got me, though, is if you go to the picture of the second picture on the Amazon link,
Yeah, this
or
one.
the third one, sorry, the third one with the battery door open.
Yeah.
That connector, that specific connector, is a really common RC connector.
Yeah, it looks that way.
It's used in all kinds of RC vehicles. It's a really common one out there. So that's what got, and I ran across a picture of it on something else. And that was what got me thinking, hey, I bet you could find this from someone else or make it yourself.
And look at this.
if
It
you want.
even comes with all the different adapter cables for all your phones. So not only this could charge your car, but this obviously will charge your phone.
Yeah, the one from the Mac Tools. So for the modular plug for the cables, they also have a modular plug that's probably got a bunch of the different style for your Apple products.
Yeah, I think I saw the Mac Tool one had a iPhone mini USB and a micro USB.
Yeah, there's like three or four
connectors.
cables. Three or four in that one modular plug. So you just plug it in, and it's got all the devices output on that one.
Yeah.
On top of that USB.
I think these are fantastic devices. I'm really glad John found this and made me start searching for one because I'm really tempted to order one. Because like John said, here's the thing that's really nice about it is it's only about that big, right? It's really small.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever used an old school jump box, if you've had a car battery that's gone bad and you know what a jump box is, you'll know what I'm talking about. They're huge, but that's because they're full-on lead acid batteries.
Yeah.
These are using lipos, which have a much, much better shelf life. They actually store their energy density on a lipo is astronomical compared to an old lead acid.
This is an
it's a really, really cool device. The downside is
This
there
is
are some charging considerations, but it sounds like they've taken care of most of them.
This
and
is phenomenal.
and it's
this
got-
is so freaking cool.
And I was going, it's got both they look like both of them are coming with both AC and DC chargers.
And DC chargers, yeah.
Yeah, so even if you wanted to do a hardwire socket, plug with the relay that comes on when you turn the car on.
John,
Oh,
you should. By the way, you should sell for both any company because Jay Huckabee just pulled the trigger in the chat room. Done. He's got this done. So not only,
but did he use the Amazon the Geek?
I made sure to include the Amazon.
Oh, you got it up
information,
there.
of course,
Okay.
yes.
So the link I put up was for Amazon Smile, but
Yeah. So
But no, this is
But
so
no-
cool. This is so freaking cool. This is what technology is all about, right?
see, this is what happens when I'm actually back out in the shop instead of sitting behind the desk anymore.
And remember,
I
go
get
to WoodenvilleSportsCars.com.
Oh, what?
do you get a credit on those on that reference?
No.
Chase?
No. What was it?
Brought to you
Oh.
by Carlos Jr.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Carlos
Carlos
Jr.
Jr.
Brought to you by Carlos
No,
Jr.
you
No
know,
way, not happening.
So this
I'm
is
getting that
this is
commission,
where
yeah.
John works, by the way. This is their website. There's some. By the way, there's John right there, in the all denim.
Yep.
And the J. I call
Why
it.
are they standing in front of a BMW instead of a sports car though?
You know what I call it? I call it the Jay Leno. John's in the Jay Leno.
Yeah. See, but
And,
now I get to wear a red shirt though. I'm a red shirt now.
By the way, but look
Ooh.
at aren't these great? This is just a great website. But not only that, where are those? Oh yeah, if you click on videos, hold on here. I'm gonna click on these videos. Can I get? Am I there? Website broken.
They took them offline.
Videos. When I click on, nothing happens. You might want to let Rick
Yeah.
know.
They took them offline.
No, they're back to they're tweaking on stuff. So
Okay. Yeah.
no, don't.
Yeah. But here's a great
Hey,
commercial.
son, your European car's a leaking.
I'm a peeing what?
No, European car. Audi, Mercedes-Benz, Mini Cooper, BMW. Good thing you're at Woodinville Sports Cars. We fix them all.
Fiat.
Everyone's got to
How
go
about Fiat?
sometime, Jack.
Whoa.
No Fiat mention.
Oh,
How about
there's the
Opel?
videos. The videos vote. Oh man, that is really bad. But these are videos that I helped Rick make. Geek Gamer TV Productions, in full effect. But I know that has nothing to do with the pick. But that's an awesome pick, John and Joe.
No,
Both of you guys.
when you're talking about the so we've got some clickable links or whatever on some of the advertising where Rick has to pay per click. And our new service advisor was like, he goes, I had the radio station pop up and had the ad. I saw our ad, so I clicked on it. Nothing happened. So I kept clicking on it. And Rick's just like, how many times? He was like, I don't know, like 40 times. And Rick's just like, oh!
Usually though, for something like that, there's protection because it's from one IP.
No, he was just messing with the
Yeah.
boss. But Rick's like looking at him like,
No.
you didn't.
My pick this week, I feel terrible. I have the worst pick this week. I really do. John. I think John took the cake this week. Sorry, Joe. I think John had a great pick.
No, Joe's time lapse thing.
No,
was,
that's
that
cool.
was
That's
cool.
great too.
Yeah.
That's great too. But man, I mean, the technology involved in yours is really cool. I'm very impressed. And granted, Joe, like you said, it's been around for a while. Yeah, you're saying they're
Yeah,
just
I
now
remember.
implementing it. They just put different plugs on the end.
In fact, I think on
You
on
could
one
jump
of
a
the-
car with that?
the hobbyist websites, I think they actually make adapters to go from this to a car. So
Yeah.
you could actually. This one probably wouldn't jump much more than
A
the
motorcycle.
aforementioned Fiat. But yeah, I think they're cool. I haven't picked one up yet, but I'm tempted.
My pick is short and sweet. It's very short and sweet. But I'm very happy to say, and I've been doing this now for a couple of months because I've been out of work. I've had some extra time in my hands, and it's one of the things that I try to do to keep myself occupied and not think about being out of work for a while. And one of the things I enjoy doing is game streaming. I've been doing a lot of game streaming. I've been doing for multiple hours every single night, playing Battlefield or baseball or Goat Simulator or something else. And so I've been doing that on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/GeekGamerTV. Some of you guys are watching this right now on Twitch. And I wanted to tell you guys about it. The cool thing is now I am officially partnered by Twitch, which means you can support the channel. And when you do that, you don't see any ads, and part of your subscription goes to support me. You also get a cool little icon in the chat room as well, which is great. And the neat thing, too, is when you're watching during a live show, your chat comes to our chat thanks to Jay Huckabee's awesome open source plugin that basically it's called MirrorBot, mirrors the chat back and forth. But yeah, I just want to say that we have a great community. FPS Spartan, I got to give him props. He really pushed me to say, hey, you should apply for partner. I was like, I'm not going to get it. There's no way. I don't have enough followers. But he said, no, you do really good work. You do other things. You should, just make it happen. And I did. And it's awesome. So thanks so much, Spartan. Really do appreciate the push and making it happen. And last night I set a personal record with 4 subscribers. Four people pulled the trigger and became subscribers last night. So I was very impressed. Awesome. Very, very happy. So thanks. So those are our picks of the week. We'll have those available on our website at geekgamer.tv. I want to say a big thanks to this guy. We're going to miss him next week. It's very rare that we don't get Joe for a show, but I already got Joe. I got somebody in place of Joe. We got Mr. Dasme, Lloyd Hannison from the Friend of the North, going to be on the show next week in Joe's place. So we'll have some Canadian flair, but Joe, have fun analog gaming next week. That should be a lot of fun. Hopefully you'll have pictures for the week after, maybe some pan shots.
Yeah, I was thinking about setting up in one of the corners, just doing a pan of the room. Yeah.
Joe is also the co-host of a very popular show called Minecraft Me.
You?
No, me. MinecraftMe.com. If you want to check that out. You can also...
We need to stop mentioning with John around because he always gets confused by that.
Yeah, well, it's easy for John to get confused. I mean, he is getting older.
It's that senile thing, right?
Right.
What?
You okay, John?
I couldn't hear you.
John doesn't co-host anything but this. But one series that I've been thinking about wanting to start, and I think we're going to do this periodically on the show, is we're going to bring back John Plays. And I think, John did play Last of Us, and that was fun. That was great. And I think now that we have now that I have an NVIDIA Shield here, I'm thinking that maybe we'll have John play some emulated games or some other Android games, and we'll see what John thinks about it. So, but John, as always, thank you so much. Thanks for being a very good friend, and hopefully you have a great birthday. It's on Wednesday, right?
Yeah. So you know what I'm doing on Wednesday?
What are you doing?
I'm going to be sitting in Everett at a freaking
training,
certification for emission specialists.
Oh,
so,
yes.
Yay.
Yes. But John, happy birthday to you. I know everybody in the chat room loves you. They miss you. They say we always appreciate when John says just Ducky. Outside myself, John, you're the longest running person on as far as hosting on Geek Gamer TV. You were there. Yep. You were there in Denny's when I was trying to come up with names to create this network. It was you, me, and Umberto. Mm-hmm. Umberto is gone. We miss Umberto. But you, John, you stayed around.
Catherine was there too.
No, I thought it was just us 3.
No, I think we
were at the Everett. We were at the Everett Denny's off the freeway. I remember it very, very well.
Or was it Applebee's?
No, it was Denny's. It was Denny's.
I thought there was 4 of us there.
No,
maybe.
Unfortunately. Yeah. No, we've been to Applebee's too. Mm-hmm. But John, thank you so much, man.
Welcome.
I want to remind all you guys that we do this show Sunday. Do you call it afternoon or evening? I'm not sure. It's 5 o'clock Pacific time at live.geekgamer.tv. We made it...
5 calls into evening, because that's bordering on prime time, right?
Mm-hmm. I thought 6 p.m.'s prime time.
Well, it's past 6
or
now,
9 p.m.'s prime time, I thought.
I don't know. I would say 5 is evening.
Okay, fair enough.
Late afternoon.
Now, granted, when we get into the thick of summer, it's going to be like still like straight daytime, right? So 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 Eastern at live.geekgamer.tv. And by the way, we got a great website, so please check that out, geekgamer.tv. You can watch all of our shows live. If you missed last week's comeback episode of Geek Gamer Weekly, you can check that out. The newest edition of Minecraft Me is up, where we show you how to back up your saves with Dropbox. And it doesn't matter what computer you're on, as long as you set up the same process on those other computers. You can always have your Minecraft saves wherever you are. And we also have a great community forum where you can jump in and chat about the shows, chat about Minecraft, or even chat about cool car chargers and all that fun stuff. If you guys want to, you can follow me on the Twitter at Nunes, Nunes. And please follow the network on Twitter at Geek Gamer TV. Thank you so much for watching us. We really do appreciate it. For Mr. John Kessler, Joseph Falvey, my name is Chase Nunes. Until we all talk again, we're all silent. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Fine, whatever.
Yeah.